62% of enterprise leaders have experimented with agentic AI, but fewer than 1 in 10 have scaled it into repeatable business value. That's not a technology problem. That's an execution problem. And it's costing your competition nothing to solve it while you're still in the pilot phase. Here's what that gap actually means for you. Your team spent months integrating AI agents into workflows. Maybe you got some early wins, reduced a process from 4 hours to 40 minutes. But then scaling stalled. The agent that worked perfectly in controlled conditions started hallucinating in production. Governance became a nightmare. You discovered your data architecture was never designed for autonomous decision-making. And now you're caught between two worlds. Too invested to abandon the project. Too stuck to declare it a success. This isn't rare. According to McKinsey's 2026 AI State of the Nation report, 68% of organizations that deployed AI agents reported scaling challenges within the first year. Most executives describe it this way. The pilot felt like proof of concept. The scale felt like proving nothing works. In the next 8 minutes, we're going to show you why most organizations fail at agentic AI scaling. And more importantly, how to avoid that trap entirely. This isn't theory. We're walking through 3 concrete patterns that separate the 9% who scaled from the 53% still stuck in experimental mode. You're going to learn why infrastructure matters more than the AI model itself. You'll understand the governance architecture that actually works at enterprise scale. And you'll see exactly how Singapore-based Temasek Holdings and leading Indian fintech players are already 3 moves ahead. This changes how you build your roadmap starting today. Point 1. The infrastructure invisibility problem. Most organizations approach agentic AI deployment backwards. They select the AI model first, then try to retrofit infrastructure around it. That's like choosing a Ferrari and then discovering your roads are unmapped. The companies that scaled successfully did the opposite. They audited their data infrastructure first. Here's the evidence. A 2026 Deloitte report on enterprise AI scaling found that 72% of failed AI agent deployments trace back to poor data quality, fragmented systems, and lack of real-time integration capability. Not bad models, not insufficient budget. Infrastructure gaps. Real example. A major Southeast Asian logistics company attempted to deploy autonomous routing agents across their operations. The AI was sophisticated, but it was pulling data from 17 different legacy systems, each updated on different schedules. The agent would optimize a route, then find that the real-time traffic data it received was 6 hours old. It couldn't learn. It couldn't improve. The pilot worked. The scale failed because the organization had treated infrastructure as a back-end detail rather than a load-bearing pillar. Application. Before you greenlight any agentic AI investment, conduct an infrastructure readiness audit. Map every data source. Identify latency. Test real-time integration capability. Ask your engineering team one question. Can this system make a reliable decision with live data every 3 seconds for 8 hours straight? If the answer involves, hopefully, or, usually, you're not ready. Fix that first. Point 2. Governance as strategy, not compliance. This is where most organizations make the critical mistake. They treat AI governance as a risk mitigation checkbox. Create some guardrails. Document some thresholds. Let the agent run. That approach works until it doesn't. And then it fails catastrophically. The evidence is stark. According to a 2026 World Economic Forum study on enterprise AI governance, Organizations that framed governance as a strategic advantage rather than a compliance burden saw 43% faster scaling cycles and 61% fewer critical incidents. Governance wasn't a speed bump. It was a map. Real example. An Indian fintech platform deployed Agentic AI to make autonomous credit decisions. The system was trained on legitimate data. The algorithms were sound. But the governance structure didn't account for the fact that AI agents don't think sequentially the way human loan officers do. They evaluate thousands of edge cases simultaneously. Without explicit governance layers, the agent started approving loans that technically met criteria but violated broader policy intent. The company caught this after 72 hours. Damage contained. But the lesson was painful. Governance frameworks designed for human decision-making collapse under agentic velocity. Application. Build governance architecture that operates at the speed of the agent, not the speed of compliance review cycles. This means 1. Automated pre-flight checks that run before every decision. 2. Real-time decision logging with exception capture. 3. A fallback protocol where decisions above a defined risk threshold escalate to human review within 60 seconds, not 60 hours. And 4. Give your governance team access to decision data in real time. Governance isn't something you audit after the fact. It's something you embed in the agent's decision loops. Point 3. The organizational adoption chasm. This is the invisible killer. The technology scales. The infrastructure holds. The governance works. But the people don't adopt it. And the whole system becomes expensive ornament. Evidence. A 2026 Harvard Business Review study on AI adoption in Asia-Pacific enterprises found that 47% of organizations that technically deployed agentic systems saw adoption rates below 30% across target user groups. The AI was working. The humans were not using it. Real example. A Singapore-based insurance company deployed agentic AI to help underwriters process complex claims faster. The system was objectively better. It reduced human review time by 38% while maintaining accuracy. But underwriters had built 30-year careers making judgment calls. The agent wasn't a productivity tool to them. It was a threat assessment. Usage remained optional. Adoption plateaued at 12%. The system existed. It didn't scale. Application. Treat adoption as an engineering problem, not a change management problem. This means 1. Design the agent as an augmentation layer, not a replacement layer. Your underwriter doesn't disappear. They gain a research assistant. 2. Instrument adoption tracking into your success metrics from day one, not as a compliance metric, as a leading indicator of real value. 3. Create a feedback loop where user data directly improves agent performance within days, not months. When underwriters see their feedback making the agent smarter next week, adoption velocity changes. 4. Address the identity question directly. Underwriters aren't being replaced. They're being elevated. That narrative matters more than the feature list. Let's visualize the organization that scales agentic AI successfully. Their infrastructure speaks in real time. Databases refresh continuously. Systems integrate seamlessly. An agent makes a decision grounded in live data, not yesterday's snapshot. That's a foundation most companies don't have. But they build it anyway. Because they understand that the AI is only as good as the data it breathes. Their governance hums silently in the background. Decisions flow through automated screens that catch anomalies before they become incidents. Human expertise isn't removed from the loop. It's deployed precisely where judgment and institutional knowledge matter. The agent handles the predictable. The organization handles the ambiguous. Their people don't resist the agent. They partner with it. Because from day one, the message was clear. You're becoming more capable, not more redundant. The adoption curve accelerates. Within 6 months, the system has evolved from pilot novelty into everyday utility. Most importantly, they've compressed the gap. 62% of companies have tried agentic AI. Most will stay in that experimental zone for another 2 years, hoping the technology will eventually solve their infrastructure and governance problems for them. But 9% will have moved past trying. They'll be scaling. They'll be compounding returns on every dollar invested. They'll be 3 years ahead of everyone else. That timeline is not set in stone. It's a choice, and you're making it right now. The difference between the 9% and the 53% isn't intelligence. It's decision architecture. Specifically, how you've designed the governance, infrastructure, and organizational conditions around the AI. Not the AI itself. If you've already deployed agentic AI and hit a scaling wall, this framework is your diagnostic. If you haven't deployed yet, this is your roadmap. Subscribe to Apex Minds D4J and hit the notification bell. Next week, we're unpacking the 5 decisions that determine whether your AI investments compound or calcify. This one's built specifically for organizations that have been in agentic AI pilots for over 6 months and feel the momentum stalling. Watch that video. Then share today's episode with one leader in your network who's still in the 62% but ready to move toward the 9%. That conversation could change their year. Thank you so much for watching this video. If these insights, thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to Apex Minds D4J for more powerful insights. See you in the next one.